Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shasheena Rolle. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping the news tonight, the Minister for Grand Bahama refuting all claims of Ebola disease on Grand Bahama. The minister was referring to claims appearing on social media and is calling on the Bahamas to cease and desist from causing harm. Now, we're working on that story for you. We will get back to that in just a moment. But first, Grand Bahama's airline industry to take off this weekend with the arrival of new airlift from the Canadian market. As Natalie Martinborough tells us, tourism leaders are calling on Bahamians to do their part to ensure the success of that program.
Earlier this year, WestJet pulled out of Grand Bahama, closing the door to the Canadian market. But tourism officials were determined to work out all of the kinks, and they are expected to welcome flights from Canada once again come November 1st. The service will include airlift from 8 Canadian cities. The newest gateways are Calgary and Vancouver.
What's special about that also is that this is the first time to the Bahamas, period, that we will get guests from those cities, and they're coming here to Grand Bahama Island. So we're preparing for that business. We're very excited about it, and we now know we've worked out all of the kinks. Last year, the start had a few challenges that we've all overcome. So now we are ready and prepared and eager to receive the Canadian business.
General Manager Betty Bethel says growing pains with the new Memories Resort was one of the issues that affected the Canadian flights. She says they have been able to address all of the issues, and ratings in the Canadian market should begin to climb again.
And as guests use new facilities and you find the deficiencies, then you can address them and permanently, and and make it improve the whole resort experience. But they were primarily related to the fact that they were newly opened. And again, there are some things that you don't know as a problem until guests start to engage and sleep in those beds. So they were standard for any property opening for the first time.
With the additional flights now on the way, Bethel believes the task ahead is for more Bahamians to come up with fun activities to cater to visitors to give them that Grand Bahama experience.
And because this time around it's not going to be 150 seats from each city, it's going to be 189 seats, and coming out of Canada, as well as when the service begins out of the United States. So we'll be getting a whole lot more guests, and we do need to look for more new, different activities, but that are indigenous of Grand Bahama, because we want them to walk away with that unique Grand Bahama, that grand life experience.
Natalie Martinborough, ZNS Network News.
Well, the Minister of Tourism, Obi Welshcombe, and Director of the Grand Bahama Tourist Office, Betty Bethel, making the announcement of the new Canada flights during a special luncheon for the Canadian press in Vancouver yesterday. It has been more than 30 years since Grand Bahama welcomed a direct flight from Vancouver. The leisure tour operator responsible for Sunwing Airlines, as well as Memories, Grand Bahama Beach and Casino Resort, are spearheading the flights. Now, officials say Sunwing Vacations has played a major role in the revitalization of Grand Bahama, and additional growth is expected with the 2 new flights. Now, 25,000 new visitors have arrived to the island because of the Sunwing partnership, and Grand Bahama is projected to see an increase in air arrivals of up to 35% with direct flights from additional 2 cities. And back to our top story, there is no reported Ebola. There are no cases of Ebola reported in Grand Bahama. We'll get back to that story. Continuing in the news, the fastest growing resort in the Bahamas will soon begin the selection process for persons to work during the construction phase of its mega hotel resort on the island of Bimini. A 2-day job fair held at the Department of Labor in Freeport, exceeding resort officials' expectations. John Davis Rolle reports.
Officials say Grand Bahama's slow economy has pushed residents to respond in impressive numbers to the 2-day job fair hosted by RAV Bahamas Resorts at Bimini at the Department of Labor.
We've had an excellent turnout here in Grand Bahama. I think RAV Bahamas has fulfilled its mission and mandate here. Yesterday we had about 100 persons showed up, and today we have about 50 persons so far, and the day has not even ended yet. So I think that the people here in Grand Bahama are hungry, and they definitely want work.
Conducting interviews as Resort Bimini official Guido Rolle He says the search is for the best of the best, and judging from the level of skilled workers on Grand Bahama, they will have a good pool of well-qualified and trained persons to choose from.
Some great applicants from skilled carpenters to skilled electricians. We've had some great persons showed up with security. We had persons showed up masonry. Bahamas is committed to continually developing there on the island of Bimini, and if there's more development, that means there will always be continued work. So as our projects are completed, then we have persons that are not just in the construction side that are going to have work, but we have persons who are in the tourism side, persons who are in maintenance, persons who are just in various range of professions that can have jobs on the island of Bimini. So we're looking at longevity here.
Applicant Colin Sweeting is optimistic, while Bradley Forbes hopes his skills in the construction field and his ability to speak a second language, German, will give him the edge he needs to land a new job with the fastest growing resort in the country. What job are you applying for?
In the masonry field or the hanging of the drywall, anything within the construction arena, I'm adapt. I can adapt to it. I can handle it. It's more than 4 years, and at the end of the day, just some work, something to do, something to be able to take care of my family, my kids. You know, I'm looking for more than that. I wouldn't mind.
What about relocating, having to relocate?
Well, that's a sacrifice my grandparents did when they had to go on the contract, so it ain't nothing new to me. That's a part of it. That's what you have to do. There's nothing here to do, right? What else can I do? Relocate.
Guten Morgen.
Me.
Good morning. Guten Abend. Good evening. Da Vornehmen, first name. Da Nachnehmen, last name. Ja, yes.
Joan Davis Rolle, ZNS Network News.
Well, police on Grand Bahama investigating an incident involving the robbery of a woman in the Freeport area. According to police reports, shortly after 8 yesterday morning, police received a call that a woman while on Polaris Drive in Carvel Beach, Freeport, was approached by a male who pushed her to the ground and snatched a deposit bag containing cash. Now, the culprit is described as 5 feet 11 inches tall, dark brown complexion, slim built, and wearing a white shirt, maroon pants, black shoes, and white towel around his face. Anyone with any information regarding this robbery with violence is asked to contact the police at 350-3107-9, 911-919, or call your nearest police station. So, Augusta, there is more news right after this.